Is SUV the right tag for it? Yes, maybe initially to attract attention to it. When I left the scooter, it was at 93%. When I came back after 1 week, it had become 86%. Climbing up is actually quite comfortable because it's an EV. So you have to be a little bit careful. During rainy season, you would much rather want a longer, throw at night.
In part 1, we talked about the range, front suspension issues, service issues, front bottom scraping on the speed breaker, including the charging troubles and the jugaad that he had to do for the charging. Now, in part 2, we are going to talk a few more important, interesting parts about the video. Now, if you want to watch the entire talk, which was around an hour, the video link is in the description below, which is for Green Red members. This video is trimmed a bit to encapsulate only the summary and the gist and important points that every customer should know. If you want to go into more intricate details, the video link in the description below. Stay subscribed, and if you have a River, share your experience in the comments below. And the headlight? Are they bright enough?
Yeah, so the headlight is, I think, I've read a lot of things saying that the red light, you see there are 2 lights are burning, but then there's also a switch here which actually, creates that thing about sometimes only one is burning. Right. But what I have read a few things about whether the throw is very less or etc. etc. But what I have experienced, I will just tell straight away, that most of the scooter lights are like within a very narrow angle, but the throw is higher. This one, because of these 2, I believe, I don't know the engineering behind it, but it gives you a 140 degree throw.
Slightly broader.
Not 120 or straight away, but it gives this. And when you drive on dark roads, you can actually see that it is giving you a 140 or 160 throw on the road.
Slightly wider, but not
wider, but not longer.
And brightness?
Brightness is manageable.
Okay.
It's not that it's like a tube light or something like that. But when you drive a scooter at night, I would believe that you wouldn't be driving at 80 kilometers per hour. Right? So if you're driving, say, at 40, 50, 60, and the throw is sufficient enough for you to be aware of. But the challenge for people would be, during rainy season, you would much rather want a longer, throw at night, especially on Bangalore roads with potholes, and you don't know where the water is there, and you don't know whether a hole is under that water. Right? So maybe a longer throw would be. Can that be adjusted through some design? I do not know. That's for River Indy to answer.
You were mentioning about the seat not closing when you're trying to close when there are stuff in the boot. Can you show us that once?
See, once it is here like this, no? Right? It doesn't all the time lock so easily. Sometimes it gets stuck. Then what she has to do is you have to put like this and then do like this.
Yes, I heard this from a few more customers.
I put this here because when somebody is sitting at the back and the EV traction is, the acceleration is very sudden, the person sitting here could slightly get thrown back. So this allows that. But for that, do we really require this thickness? This is not from a comfort perspective, it is more from a protective perspective. So if this is, say, roughly around 1 inch, can this be reduced to half an inch? That could take care of this problem, you see.
And now that you mentioned that you were riding the scooter with a pillion with your wife, how comfortable was she climbing back of the scooter, because she's slightly taller than the front?
By adjusting to it, we have now figured out what is to be done. But obviously, yes, for a pillion to get on, the typical leg across, it is a slight challenge. So what we have figured out is, I'll just show you what we did it. Here is this thing.
Yeah.
So what she does is, puts one leg here and then puts her hand on my shoulder and then gets onto it.
Okay, that's an
So these are all what you could say jugaad or adjust muddy kind of features which we do. I want to share one particular experience. I had left the vehicle here I was not here for 10 days. So 2 times it happened. Once I was not here for 7 days, the other time I was not here for about 10 days. So first time I did not put it in sleep mode. As I told first time itself, these are black in color, it's not visible. You got to, and especially if you're in the basement of an apartment, you can't really see. Here you are in bright light, you are able to see it says sleep and it's set, etc. So first time I did not put in sleep mode. So what happened? When I left the scooter, it was at 93%. When I came back after 1 week, it had become 86%. So roughly what you call as ghost discharge? 1% per day. Now for a scooter with a 110 kilometer range, 1 kilometer per day is not advisable. Then next time what I did, I put it under sleep mode, and that's been very effective, because at that time also I went with about 90%. When I came back after 10 days, it was still 90%.
And I'm assuming you have ridden the scooter in rains also.
Yes.
You faced no issue with the rains and all.
Okay. Two things. One is, at the back of my apartment, there is a road which is a gravel road. The mud part and the rain part is not the challenge. But when you go over that gravel, when a road is under preparation, before they do the tarring, they put those gravel, you have to be very, very careful, because the tire doesn't go very smoothly on it.
Traction.
Yeah. So I have to be very, very careful. Whereas the scooters with smaller tires, I found were going much more smoother than the scooter with the 14-inch tire.
Oh, okay. Last time we got lot of comments. I took some time to filter few important questions which we have to address. There was a concern about the scooter not coming with ABS. Did you feel if it was there, it would have made the braking more safer?
I would not like to comment upon the ABS or any other technology. What I would just see is, as a user, what do I want? When I press the brake, whether it is single or double, how long does it take to stop? So there are three situations I could face. One is a rainy season. One is a sudden, movement of somebody on the road, a child crossing or an animal crossing. I need to put a sudden brake. A rainy this thing. And third is just the simple normal. I anticipate a traffic signal coming up and I slow down and I brake. So these are my three possibilities to think. When it comes to a sudden braking, on a rainy day, obviously I believe ABS would be helping. If there is suddenly somebody darting across the road in an emergency situation, that definitely becomes critical. But normal usage, I'm not sure whether that is so critical for a scooter. Obviously, it's a safety concern. Wish list, yes.
Okay. Second thing, this you wanted to talk, so I'm bringing this up. People commented that we threw the plastic wrapper on this phone casing to the side. What happened that day?
Yeah, so I think in order to facilitate the video shooting, you couldn't be taking a break for that. So in the flow of that, we just put it on thing. And if you just take your, look at there, outside our gate, we have two, wet waste and dry waste bins are there. So after the shoot was over, this has been picked up and put it in the dry waste bin. Yeah. So obviously, if you are using an EV and you are concerned about the environment, you wouldn't like to litter it on the road. Even if everybody else does it also, I wouldn't want to do it at all. So that's what we did. I've obviously seen that there are some people who mentioned, why did you litter? We did not litter. It was in the flow of the video. It had to be put. But then after the shoot was over, it was picked up and put in the dry waste bin.
Now addressed it. And the next question about the plant and leaf test.
I think a lot of people appear to, either consider it as a cultural thing, but I think that's a real use case. I just took the example of a plantain leaf, but I could also add one more thing which is quite common in South India. You're aware of drumstick?
Yeah.
Muringa, right? The typical length of a drumstick is actually sometimes more than even a plantain leaf. So a bunch of drumstick which you buy could also go in without having to be folded. So it's just something which we all face occasionally when we go to the market. And the places from where you buy these plantain leaves are not the places which you could actually be. You will not be going in a car. You will go in a scooter to the nearby market where it is. So then it helped. It just happened to be an interesting use case.
Have River communicated anything about the availability of fast chargers with the scooter?
When I went to the service station, they said they have one at the service center which can charge faster. I would believe that what River Indy could do is to put up these things at various corporate offices and IT park buildings where they could provide these dedicated charging ports, because a lot of IT employees go at some point of time. They are in the office for 6, 7, 8, 9 hours. During that time, they can do the charging. But in the public infrastructure, I do not know to what extent River Indy is currently having that kind of readiness in terms of both probably funding And second thing is to arrive at what would be a reliable way to keep that working. From my experience over the last 2 years with respect to EVs, not just the EV scooter, but the EV car, putting up a charging station is not the challenge. Keeping it working is a challenge.
Okay. Why do you say that?
Quite often you may reach a charging station, you look at the app and you say there's a charging station, you reach there, it says faulted,
Okay.
or not working, or there is no power cut. So the reliability of the charging station is the key.
In your experience, have you noticed those fast chargers in those service centers where you have
Yes,
visited?
I have seen. In fact, the service manager also mentioned that we have this thing. So they are probably testing it out.
Okay. And you had a look at the charger.
I had a look at it. It looks just like the one which we have. And I'm guessing, again, it's a guessing, that it must be heavier from the look of it.
Roughly any idea of how fast that will charge if you had any talk with the manager?
He said half the time.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Another thing which I would also like to mention is that, see, this wide floor, of the scooter is also something which will be useful for a lot of people who have pet dog, correct? And because of these two footrests here, if I have a pet dog, I can make the pet dog on this floorboard. I can keep my two legs on these like this, like this, right? I put it here and I put it like this. The pet dog can very comfortably sit here, not be disturbed by, my thighs closing it, and could be very comfortable. I think, and if they also choose to have a pannier attached here, then the dog is very, very comfortable. Correct. Because it's easier to take a dog out, and dogs also like the wind, on their ears. So even if you see a car taking a dog, you see that the rear window is open and the dog is putting its head out. This means it's very comfortable. This two footrests would help. This wide footboard would help a dog to be kept here.
Last time you said the red is better, so it fades faster. Yellow, blue, or similar range, they are bright, and hence you went for gray, which is more neutral color. Are you satisfied with the choice of the color?
Yeah, I have seen quite a few scooters which are, as I said, again, it's individual choice. Color is always individual choice.
Okay.
Right? The yellow ones I have seen on the road. I have seen the blue ones on the road. Red ones I have seen very few. I found that those colored ones, when they have driven quite a few, the dirt on the sides becomes very visible. This one doesn't, in fact, even if it gets dust or anything, it doesn't look glaringly visible. Obviously, the red, yellow and the blue make for better visibility.
So do you have anything else to add about the scooter?
Yeah, I would just like to show something,
okay,
which I would believe other people may have experienced, but it's also good feedback for the thing. If you can just see, this is where this first aid kit was there. It was supposed to be kept here, right? And it was secured by this, what do you call this? I don't know. It was like this, okay? But after 2 months of usage, actually this broke and it fell down into this.
Okay.
Now I mentioned this when I went for the servicing, and they said when we bring it next time, they have got a bigger, wider belt to secure this. So this is something which could be done. The other thing which I just wanted to mention was that, you see, this is a wonderful thing for any product in India to get to be a red dot winner. I understand from the earlier things which I read about it that they won for the product design and they also won for the process. So my submission to the Riverendi founders are, can you also aim for a red dot award in servicing? Because I believe that could be the one which could make a difference to the future success of a wonderful vehicle which it has been. Range obviously is one. The second would be that center stand scraping. And the third, the most important thing which will keep customers sustained throughout would be the servicing part of it.
There was a comment where they were mentioning about app not syncing to the vehicle. Have you faced any of that issue, and how has your app experience been? Because last time you said that you were in talk with the customer care and then they sent you the access to the app. You are exploring the app. It's been 5 months now. How has your experience been?
So one of the things which has happened is there was an app update. When I went for servicing, after that I went separately to the service center. They did the update. And after that soft update, whatever it was, I do not know, the sync is better, the updation is better, and the charging information, etc. is better. So there is something, since it is a software, I'm sure there will be further updations, further versions which could improve the user experience. Right now, I have nothing to, say anything which is a disturbing thing or a distracting thing as far as the app is concerned.
So you had the issue. If someone has the issue, it's better to go to the service center to get it fixed.
Or call the customer support. There's also one more thing which I would just like to mention.
Go on.
This is something which is my view of it. Maybe right, maybe wrong, may not be relevant. But this scooter has been, so all along got the attraction of being called an SUV of scooters, right? I would say whether that SUV terminology is the right fit for this scooter. When you think about an SUV, you think about ruggedness, you think about off-roading, you think about, taking it for longer ranges. So I would believe that is SUV the right tag for it? Yes, maybe initially to attract, attention to it could have been, but I would say it is more of a CUV, crossover utility vehicle.
Okay.
Right? Because it gives a feel of riding a bike, but it has got all the good things about a scooter, storage, etc., comfort, etc. So a CUV of, a two-wheeler probably could be a better fit than an SUV, because an SUV of scooter is setting a certain expectation, and I don't feel that the SUV expectation is met. Would I take this scooter for a off-ride place? Unlikely, right? The best I can do, which I want, have also done, is go to Nandi Hills and come back.
You have done it?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's about 40 kilometers, about 50 kilometers away. So I'm quite comfortable that I go with a full charge, I can come back without needing to charge it. So roughly around 45 kilometers from here. So that is okay. But can I think of going to Anantapur or go to Mysore on this, or go through an offbeat trekking or hiking bike ride kind of thing? Definitely no.
Did you just say you went to Nandi Hills on this?
Yes.
What was climbing the slope and coming down the slope experience like?
Yeah. Climbing up is actually quite comfortable because it's an EV. But coming down, you have to keep on braking, but it gives regeneration also. So you have to be a little bit careful while you're coming down. But going up, as compared to the petrol scooters, you have to constantly give a little more rev and etc. etc. It's got hill hold assist also.
Yeah.
Right. So that makes it quite comfortable.
So which riding mode did you ride when you were climbing?
Ride mode. Ride mode. Yeah.
Did you feel the ride mode was capable enough, or was there any slope where you felt it should be in sports mode?
See, at Nandi Hills, if you look at it, there are 40 hairpin bends. For 40 bends, and they have numbered it also if you go, So at the beginning stage, it's not very steep. It's a very gradual, and the roads are also wide. As you get closer, after the 20th around the bend or the hairpin bend, then it becomes a little more sharper, and the inclination is also higher. There, this scooter does help.
How much range drop did you notice while climbing?
I think we should not concern too much about the range drop during climbing, because you recover that when you come down.
Yes, I'm trying to
roughly around say 5%.
Okay.
5 to 10%. I said depends on the mode.
Right. And it was a solo ride.
Solo ride.
Okay. While coming back, of course, you will not use any of the throttle, but there is regeneration happening.
Yeah, exactly.
Were you able to add some charge while coming back?
Yes, I think whatever extra was consumed while going up got compensated while coming down.
Okay.
Because you're constantly in regen mode.
Thank you for your time. I'm sure I'll keep coming to you after your another service experience, after your 5,000 kilometers. The more you learn about the scooter, the more we'll talk.
This is not really to promote or criticize a vehicle. I am just sharing my lived experience of 6 months with this vehicle, the logic behind purchasing it, how it is being used in different situations, and to whom does it really, which is the user to whom this scooter applies and appeals to. So I believe that each one of the persons who's watching this video would take their own decision, whether it is River Indy or whether it is Ather, whether it is TVS, anything. I would suggest that each one of us, we analyze and assess and evaluate our use case, our requirement, and then choose an EV scooter accordingly. This was my choice and I'm quite happy with it.
He owns an MG Windsor Pro, and he got an MG Windsor first. He drove it for an year approximately, and then he upgraded that to MG Windsor Pro by paying the differential amount, with very good insights about the car, about the driving experience, long drives, charging experience, and stay subscribed to not miss those videos.